get it right. Let's get right. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dealatofficial. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode. And sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in and get comfortable, get you something to eat, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, fam. What? Let's get into this here.
Take in a moment, but first I want to show a new video that's been revealed as part of the Epstein files release. It's showing a convicted sex offender chasing two women around the kitchen of his island home. Pretty strange stuff. We don't know who the girls are, how old they are. All that has been blocked out, as you can see on this video. I guess we'll all learn more about it eventually. There's so much controversy being produced by these files and emails that have been released. And as I put to Kristen Tate, some commentators and political players have been surprised by who's been forced to answer the questions.
Yeah, that's right. The latest trove of these files, they shed a new light on just a vast social network that Jeffrey Epstein had, and he corresponded with so many people that we all know. A few names that really stuck out to me: Bill Gates, the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, Elon Musk, the New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch. All of these names were people who had some sort of correspondence with Epstein. I found the Bill Gates content particularly interesting, as did many people in the United States. There was an email that was released that was actually from Epstein, sent to himself, in which Epstein claims that Gates got an STD after having relations with Russian girls, and that Gates wanted to slip antibiotics to his wife, Melinda, without her knowing it. Now, of course, we don't know if these allegations are true or not, but it should be noted that Gates began his friendship with Epstein years after Epstein's initial guilty plea for human trafficking of minors. So, if you want to be this, credible figure on vaccines and this allegedly delicious synthetic meat and climate change and all these things that Bill Gates does, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to start a relationship with a convicted human trafficker. So there's a lot of questions, a lot of documents to go through, but that one really stuck out to me.
It sure does. Bill Gates, I should say, denies a lot of these allegations. There have been so many political figures on the left named here. The daughter of a former Labor Prime Minister in Australia, Paul Keating. Also, another former Labor Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd. He denies ever meeting Epstein, but he's mentioned in some of the emails. But of course, when it comes to our celebrities and the Hollywood class and the Grammys, they focus it all not on the left, but on Donald Trump. Have a look.
That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland. Which makes sense, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton, so... Oh, I told you it's my last year.
So he mentioned Bill Clinton. That's Trevor Noah. I've got to say, I don't even know who he is, but it's quite funny and I suppose illuminating. He talks about Trump going to Epstein's island. Trump didn't. That's the one thing we know. He never went there.
Yeah, that's right. Although his name was mentioned many times in these courses, even CNN and many other news networks have conceded that there is just no credible evidence that Trump ever went to this island or did anything wrong, really. And apparently the FBI has even looked into the few accusations that exist regarding Donald Trump. There's just nothing there. So the left is looking pretty bad on that one because they've been screeching for the last year that somehow Donald Trump is implicated with Epstein in a bad way. And it just doesn't look like there's anything there.
Now, Trump, as you know, is always pretty well plugged into entertainment and television and what's going on. So he hit back. Have a look.
He's a lightweight, this guy. He's a terrible, I think he's terrible. I thought he did a terrible job at the Grammys. I thought the whole Grammys was terrible. I watched part of it. It's not watchable. But he was a lousy host. I'd say not as bad as Jimmy Kimmel, but pretty close. The DOJ, I think, should just say, we have other things to do, because that whole thing started out, I mean, other than Bill Clinton and, you know, Bill Gates, and lots of people that there are a lot of questions about it, but nothing on me.
Yeah, that's something you and the president have got in common, Kristen. You both hated watching the Grammys. But the other bit that came to light, of course, the leftist virtue signalling over ICE and immigration. Here's Billie Eilish.
No one is illegal on stolen land. Our voices really do matter, and the people matter, and this is all I want to say. Sorry.
F-ICE, she said, Kristen, and no one's illegal on stolen land. What's she doing there, lapping up all of the riches of America if they're all occupying stolen land?
Yeah, that's right. You know, this whole event was just people getting up in front of other people who agree with them and taking turns bashing Donald Trump. They were so brave. It is so brave to get up and say a bunch of mean things about the evil orange dictator to a bunch of other people in Hollywood who agree with you. Just so courageous. It really was unwatchable. Trump was correct. And Billie Eilish, she lives in a $3 million mansion that sits on formal tribal land. Why doesn't she put her money where her mouth is and give that back to the Native Americans, or better yet, invite in a bunch of illegal immigrants into her home and give them some shelter? I'm waiting.
Spot on. It is the hypocrisy that is so galling. But there are two people there who are not hypocrites. A couple of sports broadcasters wouldn't join the standing ovation against ICE. Have a look.
I love our law enforcement.
Loving law enforcement sitting down, that restores your faith a little, doesn't it, Kristen?
Yes, and that is how the vast majority of normal Americans feel, and it's why the Grammys ratings every year, the viewership just keeps going down. People no longer want to watch this stuff. It's not about music anymore. It's just about these blowhards getting up there and making their political speeches. It is just so tired.
So good to get your analysis, Kristen. Thanks so much. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you very much, Chris.
I just got paid $62,000 for my car accident using nothing but this app on my phone.
Trapmore gang, one of the most embarrassing absolute meltdowns that we've seen since these Epstein files have come out is that of Microsoft founder Bill Gates. So he's been implicated in the Epstein files in a pretty disgusting way. And this is something that's been rumored to have been going around for years. So about 4 years ago, he did this very embarrassing interview where he basically explained the whole situation away, saying, oh, my meetings with Epstein were just charity related. This is 4 whole years ago, right? And there'd always been these rumors about, like, did his marriage fall apart? He had a kind of very low-key, expensive divorce from his wife, Melinda. And there was all these rumors, was these Epstein Island allegations anything to do with your divorce? He just kind of swept it under the rug and just tried to move on from it. But the reality is he was apparently getting busy on that island. He was getting so busy on that island, he was catching diseases, all right? So look, let's just hear how he said it about 4 years ago, and then we're going to find out how this tune changed drastically with the recent leaks.
That time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with...
You know what's crazy? I'm no criminal psychologist, but like the way that he pulls at his wedding ring finger, and you notice there's no ring on it anymore. I think this is just a classic tale. He's definitely just riddled with anxiety, riddled with shame and guilt. You can tell he doesn't want to answer the question, and he's clutching at his ring finger. I feel like that's a very, very telling kind of little just display of guilt from Bill Gates, man. And he knows that this is exactly what ruined his marriage. This is why he doesn't have a ring on his finger. This is why his wife hates him. It's actually very sad to see.
Raising money.
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is an interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
Well, and I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
He's gassed. He said he in a pack now. He said he's smoking his ass. He's dead. He can't say shit. He gone.
Very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation. And that's what I get up every day and focus on.
That is crazy, right? That is crazy. Unfortunately, the comments are turned off on this, and they would have been an absolute horror show. But what's interesting, okay, the timeline of the Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein link up, right, the dynamic duo, okay, this goes back a hell of a long time, okay? This is an article from Newsweek about their timeline and of their relationship, and this goes all the way back to 2011. Now, this was published in 2021 before we knew the recent allegations, but this was pretty interesting, right? And it says, Melinda Gates is said to have warned Bill Gates to stay away from Jeffrey Epstein after the couple met with the convicted offender in 2013 in New York. The Microsoft founder and his wife announced they filed for divorce last week, and the Wall Street Journal reported the separation of the 25-year marriage was in the works since at least 2019. Melinda Gates was reportedly haunted by her husband's connection with the convicted PDF financier who died by suicide after he was jailed in 2019. Newsweek reached out to representatives for Bill and Melinda Gates for comment. The New York Times reports that Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein met numerous times over the years, starting from 2011. Here is the timeline of their relationship. Look at these fools. Look at these just potato-headed fools. Right, he's been overcooked, he's been undercooked. But anyway, this is Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein reportedly first met in January 2011 in New York City. On the occasion, Gates and Epstein were joined by Dr. Eva Andersson Dubin, a former Miss Sweden who Epstein once dated, and her 15-year-old daughter. Yikes. Yikes, I don't even want to speculate on what's going on with that. The New York Times also claimed Bill Gates sent an email about Epstein to colleagues in 2011 saying his lifestyle is very different and kind of intriguing, although it would not work for me. He also said that he stayed late into the night on this occasion, writing in the email, a very attractive Swedish woman and her daughter dropped by. I ended up staying there quite late. All right. However, Bill Gates spokesperson Bridget Arnold told the newspaper that the email was in no way meant to convey a sense of interest or approval. Cap. She said that Gates was referring only to the unique decor of the Epstein residence. Sure thing. You think we're dumb as fuck, don't you? And Epstein's habit of spontaneously bringing acquaintances in to meet Mr. Gates. Arnold also said of this meeting, Gates recognizes that entertaining Epstein's ideas related to philanthropy gave Epstein an undeserved platform that was at odds with Gates' personal values and the values of his foundation. The two men met again in 2011 on May the 3rd and were photographed along with James E. Staley, at the time a senior JP Morgan executive, and former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers and Boris Nikolic, who was the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's science advisor. Now, Bill and Melinda Gates met with Epstein in his Upper East Side mansion in September 2013, according to the Daily Beast. 2013 was 4 years after Epstein was sentenced to prison for soliciting a minor under the age of 18 for sex. The meeting was reportedly on the same day that the couple accepted the Alaska Bloomberg Public Service Award at the Pierre Hotel in New York City. In the same year, Bill Gates is reported to have flown with Epstein on his private jet from New Jersey to Palm Beach, Florida. That plane is the infamous Lolita Express that gained notoriety due to it being purposely designed for mid-air sex, as per The Sun. Gross. 2018, Bill Gates' meetings with Epstein were publicized and reported on in 2018, prompting a spokesperson for the tech mogul to say at the time that the meetings had focused on philanthropy. I met him. I didn't have any business relationship or friendship with him, Gates told the Wall Street Journal in 2019. I didn't go to New Mexico or Florida or Palm Beach or any of that. Are you sure? He explained. There were people around him who were saying, hey, if you want to raise money for global health or get more philanthropy, he knows a lot of rich people. The same spokesman told Insider that in 2019, Epstein misrepresented the nature of his meetings with Gates while also working to insert himself behind the scenes without Gates' knowledge, and that Gates and Epstein never socialized together, and that the disgraced financier actively pursued a relationship with her client. Bill Gates regrets ever meeting with Epstein and recognizes it was an error in judgment to do so, Arnold said. Gates recognizes that entertaining Epstein's ideas related to philanthropy gave Epstein an undeserved platform that was at odds with Gates' personal values and the values of his foundation. On August the 10th, 2019, Epstein died by suicide, wink, at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City following his arrest on federal charges for the trafficking of minors in Florida and New York. In September 2019, Bill Gates told the Wall Street Journal of Epstein, "I didn't have any business relationship or friendship with him." Now, in 2021, Bill and Melinda Gates announced their divorce in May. Over the last 27 years, we've raised 3 incredible children, built a foundation that works all over the world to enable all people to lead healthy and productive lives, they said in a joint statement. We continue to share a belief in that mission and will continue our work together at that foundation, but we no longer believe we can grow together as a couple in the next phase of our lives. And that's where the timeline suspiciously ends. But jump forward to 2024, okay, in the earlier Epstein file drops, not even this recent hot off the presses drop, Bill Gates would be present in some very suspect photos. This was going around a little while ago in r/Epstein. Shout out to them. There's always a subreddit. Am I not in r/Epstein? No, getting there. It says Microsoft founder Bill Gates pictured with a girl in the new Epstein photo release. Now, I can't see her face, but you see the skirt, you see the button-up shirt. All types of wrong, okay? We're going to need to reboot this Windows right now and run in safe mode because this guy is a horror show. It says, look at her awkward body language, creep. It's not looking good for Gates. All billionaires are trash. People saying, I suspect this is the real reason these people hoard their money long after they could possibly need anything more in life. We think it must be some mental compulsion, but in reality, it's that they need the continued power to protect them from all the horrible shit they've done and continue to do. Like, they literally can't retire without risking being held accountable. Bill Gates is an easy target now because he has very little actual power. He mostly divested of Microsoft, and the divorce probably hit hard too. Most of his political capital is all in his foundation, which is more PR than firm power. Had he stayed in control of Microsoft, he'd have one of the largest companies in the world to use and buy and trade favors. That's why Bezos, Musk, etc. aren't going anywhere. They will continue. They'll never give up their wealth because it's the source of their power, and the power keeps them protected. All I can figure is Gates was too old school to realize this. He was operating like a Rockefeller or Carnegie, where you make your fortune and then run out the clock with PR, so you go into the grave a good guy with a lasting legacy. The new model is never retire and go to your grave with all your secrets secure. His legacy is in the toilet, okay? It's in the toilet. Now, obviously, that was 2024 when this embarrassing pictograph, let's call it pictograph, photograph or a picture, but now we're in 2026 and more serious allegations have emerged regarding Bill Gates in the newly released DOJ files. Basically, this was going around a few days ago. It says, in the newly released DOJ files, Jeffrey Epstein says Bill Gates caught an STD and requested antibiotics so he could secretly give to his wife, Melinda Gates. Crazy. Also mentioned stepping away from Bill and for asking him to engage in things that get near and potentially over the line into illegal. You're such a weirdo and creep that Jeffrey Epstein is saying he's got to step away from you because you're pushing him over to the line in things that are nearly illegal. Absolutely wild. So I'll read you the email if you haven't already read it. It says, Dear Bill, Billy, Dear Bill, I cannot believe that you have chosen, I cannot believe that you have chosen to both disregard and discard our friendship developed over the last 6 years. I'm aware that incidents happen. It's how each of us has chosen to deal with this unfortunate event that has me dismayed beyond comprehension. You have decided to discharge me from my job, had Larry, your PR person, tell me that I engaged in morally inappropriate behavior, and then asked me to be a major actor in a cover-up so you can maintain the reputation you have worked so hard to achieve. Shortly after my critical eye operation, I spent my day having your emails read to me as so not to miss a beat. When I could see out of one eye, my first task was to correct my vision in that one eye so I could read them myself. I assumed the dedication to our relation ran both ways. Larry has now asked me to recommit to a confidentiality agreement and have categorically told me that you are of the firm mind that we should no longer have any direct ongoing business relationship, with a total disregard for its impact on the public perception of my reputation. You have requested that I diligently avoid the truth, tell people that Bill will not invest with me, and craft an answer that suits yours and Melinda's needs. In fairness, You did agree to send a letter of recommendation should a future employer ask for one. You have told me that Melinda insists on me ignoring our friendship, not even communicating with you unless Larry, is copied or present. Though you have consistently maintained that I could not have done a better job and that I was underpaid compared to my contribution. You then, beyond all sense of fairness and frankly decency, said that as generous compensation for keeping the Gates reputation intact, you would let me keep what we agreed I had already owned, the investment participations, and give me a total of 2 years severance, similar to that of Christine Turner, a casualty of a former accident. I can assure you that if the shoe was on the other foot, I would have said, Boris, this is not your fault. I confessed to Melinda, you didn't. It was in a moment of weakness, and I promise that will do anything within my power to make it right for you. I have more money than anyone needs, and I do my utmost to structure something that you will not be penalized for my error. Lucky for me, I have enough money to mediate a horrible situation. Though it will not heal the injury, it will make you secure in your future. In addition, I will bend over backwards to make sure your next career is rewarding and on an upswing. I appreciate the fact that this event drastically alters your plans, and I'm very aware of your career path that you gave up to join the foundation. I'm very sorry, but as I believe time heals all wounds, the terrible pain felt currently will eventually pass. In that regard, I suggest that I buy you the house that you had your heart set on, and in addition to 5 years of severance, we'll buy you out the investment contract that we had agreed. 30 to 40% of a $100 million partnership for $30 million in today's dollars. Terms and conditions to be agreed. That's what I would have done had I been in your shoes. What did I receive, however, was an unfriendly, strongly worded email telling me how employable I am and that I should not look to you for any significant financial help in the future. To add insult to the injury, you then subsequently, with tears in your eyes, implored me to please delete the emails regarding your STD, your request that I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your PP. You also made it clear to me that I am not to refer to blank, as that's another topic that must remain between the two of us. In return for all of these requests, which I would have done without a second thought,
make every wash count. New Airborne. 7 immune supporting nutrients. Our most complete support yet.
Hit that like button, double tap that screen.
If you get in a car accident that wasn't your fault, getting an attorney is probably the right move. And I'm gonna tell you why. 1, a survey.
I am not to attend meetings with Melinda. I should continue to provide you the same level of service and dedication that I've done so diligently until you are ready to discard me and our friendship sometime after the first of the year. I've attempted to weigh my options carefully. You're a great person who's done a great deal of good. I'm concerned that if Melinda decides, as you said, to file for a public divorce, the damage done to the pledge program alone would result in billions of dollars of money. The voice you have used so well to carry forth your ideals will, at least for some time, stifled, and many good programs by no fault of their own would suffer. I am also acutely aware that my own voice and career would be damaged. And then he followed up, from Jeffrey Epstein to, this is his own resignation letter that he sent himself. I've decided to resign my position effective immediately with BG3 and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I've not come to this decision quickly or without a great deal of thought. During the past few weeks, I've been caught up in a severe marital dispute between Melinda and Bill. I have the greatest respect for my friend of 7 years, and I wish them both well. In my role as his right hand, I've been asked on multiple occasions, and in hindsight, wrongly acquiesced into participating in things that have ranged from morally inappropriate to the ethically unsound, and have been repeatedly asked to do things that get near and potentially over the line into illegal. Though it was kindly suggested that I make a transition to a new position after my 6 years of service, and that Bill would, in his words, give me a generous package pause, I feel it would be dishonest of myself and my future from helping Bill to get drugs in order to deal with consequences of sex with Russian girls to facilitating his illicit trysts with married women and to being asked to provide Adderall for bridge tournaments. I feel I owe it to my friends and future colleagues to admit a moral failure, to ask forgiveness, and to move on with my life. He snitched. He snitched. That's low-key snitching, all right? People are commenting on Reddit. They're saying men are filthy. Okay, reading this and not being at all surprised by the most heinous acts done by a monstrous billionaire sex pest, but being taken aback by the amount of typos, poor capitalization, spacing issues, and generally poor writing skills of an ex-professor PDF is really something I can't come to grips with. People saying, why are men? Melinda didn't have a divorce for nothing. Maxwell in her latest defense made that clear, I guess. All these predators need to join Epstein in hell. Gates has been cozying up to Trump the last few years after being a lifelong Democrat. He knew Trump had this dirt on him. They're all absolutely disgusting. People saying, I'm sorry, is this straight up saying he was giving Melinda antibiotics without her knowledge? If Bill had an STD, he'd have to keep giving them to Melinda more or less perpetually to ensure it didn't contract, right? If he was trying to hide it, that is, so he straight up gave for God knows how long, knowingly withheld info from his wife that he contracted an STD after he cheated on her. I know there's a lot of assumptions there, but it makes him a effing scumbag no matter which way you cut it. She must have found out at some point. It's very interesting that Gates' wife left him, but Hillary never left Bill. Crazy. Now, Bill Gates himself has apparently responded to the allegations that have come out. Seattle area billionaire Bill Gates issues furious response to Epstein Files claims that he slept with Russian girls and caught STD, and suggests late pedophile was desperate to be his friend. Okay, let's see what the Daily Mail is saying about this. It says Bill Gates.
Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You in here with your boy Dilla T, my fam. You know this is No Filters. It's free to subscribe, fam. Never forget, bang, the raffle. It's happening Friday. Okay? Raffle. One woman, one man. They gonna win a No Filters hoodie. Your color choice. Signed by your boy Dilla T. Sponsored by Nene Love Savvy TV. All the way in the building. You understand? So I'm trying to get you to understand what's going on here, fam. Bill Gates. Oh, man. Yeah, he did that. And the crazy part was that as he's sitting there in the interview, he's acting like he had no dealings with Epstein. So you caught lying already, and then publicly you caught lying again. So we really want to know, what was Bill Gates really gonna say? Huh? What can you really say? Huh? Because we really want to know. But let's see what the wife has to say first.
Well, let me say this. I think we're having a reckoning as a society, right? No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there, what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Well,
and I am so happy to be away from all the muck.
Wow. That's what she said. Okay, so let's see what Bill had to say.
Remember how Uber completely changed the game for taxis? Made them faster, easier, and just better? Well, someone just did the exact same thing.
Mr. Gates, welcome to Australia. Thanks for sitting down with us. I'd like to start with your legacy. A lot of people will start a foundation or a charity with the idea of creating it, naming it, letting it live on forever and help people forever. You're doing something of the opposite. Why's that?
Well, by spending all of the money that I'm lucky enough to have through the success of Microsoft, spending it all in the next 20 years, we can spend about twice as much than if we were trying to last forever. And so I'd like to get a lot done. I don't care that there won't be an organization with my name on it after that point. Hopefully diseases like polio and malaria, people will forget about those as well. And certainly 20 years from now, there'll be other rich people who will be more up to date on what's going on with health or AI and can take whatever we can't finish and proceed with it.
We're talking about $200 billion you're predicting in the next 20 years. Why give it all away, firstly? And secondly, what can be done? What can be achieved in your eyes in those 20 years?
Well, when you have great wealth, say over $1 billion, you can spend some on yourself. And, I had nice seats at the tennis tournament, which was fantastic. So I do some of that.
Yeah.
I gave some to my children, hopefully not so much to distort their lives so that their income is a meaningful thing to them. And that left a gigantic amount of money that I spent my 40s asking, how should it go back to society? And that's when I learned about over 10 million children dying and various things like vaccines that weren't getting to them, and made that the primary focus of all this money going back to the world.
You've had assistance through people like Warren Buffett. Do you think more wealthy people should be giving more of their wealth away?
I think it should, not only because it would have very positive impact, but I think they would find it very fulfilling. I love work as a philanthropist. I get to meet heroes, go out in the field, meet scientists like here in Melbourne, amazing scientists that we get to back them in their breakthrough work. So yes, I'm trying to set an example of that you can have impact and enjoy it. And I think philanthropy will be going up a lot, particularly as some of these tech fortunes are very large.
Philanthropy is going to have to go up a lot because it seems like governments are pulling back a lot. I mean, the most obvious one is the USAID program. Do you have an idea, or can you give an estimation to what that's costing in lives or in health or in well-being of people around the world?
Yes, so at the turn of the century, over 10 million children under 5 died every year. We cut that in half by 2024. Sadly, because of the interruptions, that number went up by several 100,000 last year. So that's, we've gone from the greatest decline to an increase. So there are already hundreds of thousands of deaths from the money being cut off. We're trying to get that money restored, but the corollary of how important the money is that when it's reduced, it has tragic effects.
We've had a similar situation in Australia where I think on the basis that a lot of people are doing it tough in their lives, there is a reluctance to send money overseas. Is that a reasonable reluctance, and how can people help otherwise?
Well, if you were willing to say have 1% of the budget go to help the poorest in the world, sort of the golden rule, that not only saves millions of lives, it also prevents pandemics from getting started that come here, and as we saw with COVID, have incredible impacts.
So you think something like COVID could have been prevented?
Absolutely. The tools we have now, diagnostic tools, would have stopped it from being a global epidemic.
What then is the next step to preventing something like that from happening again? Is it as simple?
See, this right here is how they set it up. Hit that like button, double tap that screen, learn something right quick. This how they set it up. Situation like that happened about him with Epstein files, and then he do an interview. But if you heard, the interview ain't even regarding the Epstein files at all. He's sitting there having a basic regular interview that he would normally have regarding the decisions of tomorrow. And this is sad, fam, because the man bold-faced lied, and now he caught in his lie. And now it's like, okay, well, if he's the one that's in charge of the food, medical, if he's in charge, and that's the way he moving, they got to put somebody else in office. Or they got to put somebody else in that position. Because he's not fit, period. And this is what's sad. Any man, allegations come out. These allegations come out, and then there's evidence that it happened, so that makes it true. And yet, if he is still in the position, that's need to be protested. Now we need to be protesting. Because anybody else that would have that on their name, that's in the position he in, all of these companies will be pulling out. All of these companies will stop dealing with him. Just because their name is tied to him and his name is tied to that. And I just hate how the world operates, because they not going to keep that same energy for Bill Gates. When yet we all know what's up. And that's why I feel like it's up to you and me, fam. And all of us in the world for us to press this situation. Because a lot of things come down to us protesting and pressing it. And that's how a lot of things of today has changed, because we are pressing the protest. We are pressing in YouTube. We are pressing. There's so many people that can discuss a situation now than we could decades ago. You get what I'm saying? It's up to us to press this for things to be done, for people to be pushed out. You got to press them to push them out. Because clearly, if we don't have a problem with it, or if we don't raise some type of noise, then that says we're okay with it. If we waiting on somebody to do something about it in high places, they okay with it. It's up to us to press to get them pushed out. We got to press and push. That's it. We got to press them, push them out, fam. Because Bill Gates, if it was one of us, our name tied to something like that, man, everybody gone. You just lost everything. And whatever savings you got to work on that and start building your own thing. That's exactly how that would happen, fam. And I hate that, man, because we are watching this man. And then what's funny is his wife don't even really want to say nothing. She just like, I feel for them girls. I hate that should no girl have to go through that. She not really like, yo, y'all talking about I'm messed up about it, but he the one went through it. So there's no questions to ask me. That's how you know how she tied in with him still. Because now she can't even say how she really feel publicly. When we all know it'll be a different type of energy if it was you and I or people in the world. So for her not even to say something, let me know she's still tied in with him some one way or another. And then the other part of me not knowing that I'm knowing he ain't saying nothing is the fact that he's in charge. Like the FDA type stuff. Yeah, this man got a lot to do with a lot. So it's like, to hear that about him, fam, we can't allow Bill Gates to keep visiting these countries and moving how he moving, and ain't nobody holding that man accountable, man. That ain't working, fam. Bill Gates definitely, I mean, out of everybody, to me, Bill Gates is really, I mean, for real, he need to be moved over to the side. And then what's funny is, even if they was to address this publicly, I don't believe what would happen privately. Let me say that again. If they was to address this publicly, I don't believe what would happen privately. Bill Gates need to be, you understand? Just on sight. Just anybody just see him. Just straight out of nowhere. Just come around the corner. Just see him from the corner. There he is right there. Just walk up, silent treatment. Come up from the side. What you on, fam? Yeah. Because ain't no way you controlling everything in the world, and that's how you moving, and then you sitting there looking at us to be trusting you with our lives and our kids' future. Ain't no way. Man need to be smacked on sight. Just on sight. So I'm just saying we need to keep that same energy, fam. When it comes to, you know, the Tyler Perrys and the Jay-Z's and your Diddy part, and oh no, we need to keep all that same energy for the other skin colors. And this ain't against my white folk or my mixed folk, my light folk or my mother, my brother from another mother. No, this ain't against none of that. But what it's against is people that's keeping it one way. Because it's definitely both sides of the fence that was in the Epstein files. Both celebrity and politician, both Democrat and Republican, both black and white was in the files. Off the chain. So it ain't no way nobody can be feeling no type of energy or thinking they can hold on to us. No. When you talk about Pusha T and Jay-Z, but then you talk about Bill Clinton and Bill Gates. Hold up, let's do it again. Pusha T, Jay-Z, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates. Everybody, all four of them was over there. So who got something to say? How we not pushing and pressing? How we not pressing and pushing folk out? How we not pressing the issue like, oh, your name was in there and you know this guy was doing this? So why would you want to go kick it with this guy and you know what he doing? See, that ain't making no sense. That's why I'm telling you, all of them guilty. I don't want to hear none of that. Nobody should be in here talking like they not. Hit that like button. Subscribe right now. It's free, fam. What's the problem? But it's just the fact that ain't nobody pressing and pushing. So now we got to be sitting there talking about Bill Gates lied in our face and now he coming out looking like this. And now they got to be tripping off somebody acting like Trump ain't did nothing, but yet Trump name that came across everything. But they acting like ain't nothing, he ain't did nothing either. Oh, no, fam. Jay-Z, Pusha T, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. All was there. So at this point, it's no thing about, oh no, everybody was there. Everybody had a hand in it. The point I'm making is, you knew he was accused of this already before you even pulled up on the island. So ain't no way you gonna play like you don't know nothing or you ain't do nothing. Bill Gates like, we didn't do nothing. I just, had meetings with him and I regret it. No, you don't regret nothing. You over there pressing him to talk to chicks in Russia. What are you talking about? Need to be smacked, flat out, just lying. That's what I be talking about, man, just lying. That's the point I'm talking about. See, if you didn't say nothing, or if you never opened up your mouth, stupid, you wouldn't be looked at like you is now, even though you still be sick. But it's just the fact you opened your mouth, had an interview, and put yourself in a position now that the files came out, and it specifically said what you did, what you had, and how you handled it. So yeah, we gotta every day, somebody need to post something every day about Bill Gates saying he needs to be removed from his position. He needs to go back to writing computer programs, and that's it. Or he just needs to retire and go sit down at home and do nothing. His hand don't need to be in medical, food, anything. His hand don't need to be in nothing but of nothing. Because at the end of the day, he's mastermind. He's a mastermind. He's a con artist. Oh, no, get me right. Let's get right. Let's get right. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. That man's a con artist. And people like that gonna end mankind. You understand? People like that will end mankind and create a new kind. And so when he talking about, 20 years from now, we ain't gonna be tripping off of it because hopefully by then, whatever scientist that's around, they'll know what to do with the technology or whatever. We just giving them the recipe now. And I'm in my head like that's what I'm saying. He know how old he is. And it's funny because people that's that old talking like that see a different perspective of the world. They don't think about tomorrow. They still trying to live for 10, 20 more years. So everything that they could genetically do, robotically do, psychologically do, they're going to tweak it if it says they can live another 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You better hear me. Oh, man, hit that like button. You see the cash app. You see the super chat. It's getting real in here today. I'm going to tell you something. Their perspective plays a different role than you and I. They've had money for a long time. They're bored. But yet they're getting older every day. So you need to understand why he's cloning. You need to understand why they only want one type of money currency called the Amero. And it's coming. Because you need to understand there's so many people in the world that they need to be trying to make sure they keep up with everything. Think about it. If you and I ran the world and we had all these people and people still coming, babies still coming every day, people still leaving every day, do you not think we want to know who they is and who this person is and there's people walking around that ain't did this, ain't did that, name is off the grid? Oh man. They got a certain type of money over here, certain type of money over there. They using pesos, they using dollars, they want this thing to be one world, one governed by one governor, one money by one situation, one system. So I'm telling you right now, fam, people like Bill Gates need to be moved out. People like that ain't thinking about a good tomorrow. People ain't like that, ain't preserving tomorrow. They ain't preserving today. Let me say that again. They ain't thinking about tomorrow because they ain't preserving today. They're trying to turn everything into fakeness. They're trying to kill every natural element of purity, clarity, of what's pure. And he wants, and I'm telling you again, they want to do it because they want to live forever. You better hear me again. These people want to live forever. So they want to keep the purity of things, keep everything natural for themselves. And they want to give us the made up, the artificial. As we drop and leave the world one by one, minute by minute, second by second, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. That's the situation. So I'm telling you again right now, yeah, Bill Gates, oh no, he's not to be out here no more. He needs to be moving away. He needs to go away, far away. Because the plans he created and what he doing and what he own, see, just the fact of what he's done and how he moving, further let you know what he doing every day with you and I, your life and my life. If he's supplying us with food, medical, things of that nature, oh yeah, he playing with your life and mine. He got both of our lives in his hand. We got to thank God for Jesus. Because literally people like this is controlling your everyday situation. Your everyday resource is people like this controlling that. Your everyday resource, your everyday living. He's controlling that because he's the one that supplies it. He the plug. He supply you with what you need. You don't know if you eating real food or fake. Stop playing in here. But yet you ain't got nothing to say about him. This should be the first person that you want out of whatever's going on. This should be the first person that you want up out of here. Man, taking pictures with these youngins. Number 1 PDF, number 2 PDF. Taking pictures with them. You right there with them. We see you with them. Face blocked out and you right there smiling. Hands in pockets. What we talking about, fam? You should be waking up posting Bill Gates should be out of here. He needs to be gone. Whatever he's running, whatever position he's in, he needs to step out. Not step down, step out. The nerve of this man. And it's the nerve of us that'll sit back and let this man still operate without saying nothing when we see him publicly. People should be going crazy on every social media about that man. We should go so crazy that it makes him feel like he needs to leave the earth. Because at this point, you have no plans for us. The only plans you have are for your nasty self. Rock with AJ in the building. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. This is disgraceful. Because the nerve of him and the way that they even allowing it, it just kills me that they got nothing to say for it. That's the problem.
With Popeye's new $5 phase menu, you can get this, or this, or this, or this. No one's stopping you from getting them all.
Now, she elaborates, whatever questions remain there, I can't even begin to know it all. Those questions are for those people, and even my ex-husband They need to answer those things, not me. She says that details in the files bring to mind memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage. But I have moved on from that, she says. I purposely pushed it away and moved on. Bill Gates is slime. It seems like Bill Gates may be a scumbag. That's what it seems like. He may be a scumbag. For real. I think he is. It says Melinda says she's in a very beautiful place in her life now. She no longer feels that she needs to address the scandal. That's up to Bill and people in the files to do. Now, basically, she feels for the victims, but she's washing her hands with the whole situation and telling people to go talk to Bill Gates if they want information. Now, they announced a divorce in 2021. Though reports indicate she started speaking to divorce lawyers 2 years after rumors about her husband's affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein came out. She publicly said she told Bill she didn't like his working relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, as for the new allegations against Bill Gates, they're pretty major, according to this report, with a draft of an email written by Epstein claiming Gates got an STD from a Russian girl and planned to slip this woman, his ex-wife, some antibiotics to stop her from realizing that she had caught anything. Now, Bill has not addressed these allegations, and Melinda did not answer this in her promo either. This is sad work right here, bro. So the wife, this dude allegedly was going to get a wife some antibiotics. So she didn't know that he gave her, allegedly, the dirty deed. This is crazy work, man. This is crazy work. This is at the highest levels in the world, man. Bill Gates is one of the richest dudes in the world. And to see these dudes get exposed like this, bro, crazy. High level exposure is what these guys are getting, man. High level exposure, bro.
And let me tell you this too.
You know, this is what happened.
Because when we talking like clone levels and all of this and who is this and who is that, hit that like button, double tap that screen. It's real what I'm about to say. When we talking about clone levels, clone people, clone stuff, you don't really know who really who. You see this version of this person, then you see this other version of them, and you looking like, man, who is this or who is that? But then in real life, they know who really real and who really ain't. And we just running around because we don't see these people every day. That's another thing too, fam. These people ain't on TV every day. They might make an appearance here, make an appearance there, but we don't see them. So when we do see them, it's like, oh, there he is, little scrawny. Oh, this little bug, this little walking bug. You know, this human bug walking, like we don't even know who this is. You know what I'm saying? Because this person been put up somewhere forever. So you never really know who is really who and who is really what, right? So I think that's the main thing. That's another reason why we can't even invest in knowing who these people is or who we talking about. This big show, scripted show looks so crazy because we just don't even, is we talking about real humans? Is we talking about just some robots? We just talking about bots? See, that'll really kill you. Think about that. Back in that day, long time ago, they had that robot movie where they was dressed up like humans, but you know, when their skin would come off, it was robots under there. Now, that's what's going on right now, fam. I'm gonna tell you that now. That's what's going on. Because if somebody clone, fam, that's a bot. That's a walking bot. What we talk, that ain't human. Yeah, no, that ain't. That's all robot. And right now they talking about people like Kanye West allegedly on some bot level type stuff, fam. And if that's the case, bro, oh man. That hits different because even for them knowing that they talking to a bot, I'm wondering how do they look at it? See, they so tied in with these people that they can't even react to it. Like, think about it. They go to somewhere and see a clone person. How you gonna react? And you know you just signed your life away with them people. You gotta go to that cave. You gotta go see that. You gotta go, yeah. So how you react to that? How your life gonna end up off of that? You like, whoa, wait a minute. That's such and such. And this is such and such. But such and such is on the TV. How you gonna respond to that? Tell me in the comments right now, what would you do? Is you gonna sit there for your life and don't say nothing because you know you just signed up with them folks? Because really they letting you know, hey, listen, man, whatever you don't do, or we'll make another you and gonna get it done regardless. That's what's going on, fam. They think it ain't, but that's the year 2026. See, back in 1996, we listening to Tupac and Biggie. We listening to Tupac and Biggie, 1996. Man, we in 2026. And we talking about human bots. What are we doing? Woo! Hit that like button and tap that screen. We cooking!
Happens, man. When you get exposed, man, when you out here and you got dirt on your name, man, it's going down in 2026, bro. And the big dogs is gonna have to answer these questions. All these dudes. See, this is the thing. Epstein looked like he was locked in with everybody, man. Everybody. It seemed like he was locked in with all types of different world leaders. All these people, rappers, artists, actors, all this stuff. Singers. It seemed like Epstein was locked in with everybody. Like he was like the biggest supplier in the world, man. That shit is crazy, bro. And it's like all these people seeing this stuff, man, and just ignored this shit for years, man. It was going along with this stuff, man. And now these people are getting exposed, and it hurts them because, you know, it hurts their brand for them to get exposed like that. Flat out exposed. You understand what I'm saying? For being frauds. This is a bad look for them, man. This is definitely a bad look for these people, man. And so now that you guys see this situation and y'all see it for what it is, man, you know, this guy, again, you know, he deserves everything.
Choose to show up.
I used to struggle with dandruff, but now I use Head & Shoulders every wash because the active ingredient in Head & Shoulders.
Look at all this stuff. Why aren't people talking about this stuff? Why aren't people letting these people slide, man? All the way across the board. It's a protection plan going on out here. On both sides. If you black, they want to protect the black side. If you white, they want to protect the other side. It's sad, bro. It really is, man. It should be good and evil, period. You understand? And what, you know, allegedly happened to all these girls, or what we know happened to them from Epstein, that's pure, unadulterated evil, man. How can anybody have a conscience to even look at some of this shit, think about some of this shit? Now, let me play what she said. Because she was mad. Let me play what she said, y'all. Because she ain't going for that shit. And this seems like this is a reason why they got their divorce. Was because of Epstein. This should have let y'all know how bad it was. And I'm going to tell y'all something else after I play this. Because I want y'all to see, we got like 400 something people in here. Because this is about Bill Gates. If this is about 50, Diddy, Nicki, Jay-Z, somebody like that, the whole comment section would be packed. The whole damn comment section would be packed. If this was about them, the whole comment section would be packed. There wouldn't even be no question about this shit. Y'all, everybody would be in here saying, hey man, you know, y'all already know what the word would be. So do we even have to even go beyond that? You know what I'm saying? Do we even have to go beyond that? Right? So let's just think about this, but listen to what she said. Hold on 1 second. We ain't gonna do that. Hold on. I want y'all to hear this.
I think we're having a reckoning as a society, right?
Hold on. To the girl who said gossip makes the world go around, know your role and shut your mouth. This ain't gossip right here. This is in the files. This is people that was violated. This is people that was disrespected at the highest level. This ain't gossip. This is actually in the paperwork. The man's wife is speaking to But the man's wife, his ex-wife, came out and said this is the reason why she didn't want this nigga around Jeffrey Epstein. What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you, man? You got a problem? Let me go ahead and get you the hell out of here because you obviously got some issues. Let me get your ass out of here. This ain't no gossip right here. This is absolute end of file. What the hell wrong with you, man? Y'all got some real problems around here. This is end of file. Matter of fact, what I'm playing to you right now, Miss Lady, this is his ex-wife talking about this shit. So if that's gossip, the hell you talking about? Sit your ass down and shut the hell up. Had their bodies violated. You understand what I'm saying? Were mistreated by these demons. And she gonna come in here talking about gossip. Man, shut up. Nobody wanna hear that. You a part of the foolishness. If you ain't a part of the solution, you a part of the problem. Point blank period. We've seen it. If the paperwork is real, it's out here. I know some of y'all don't want to believe this shit because you niggas worship celebrities and y'all worship these people. Something is really wrong with you people. Period. You don't come in here bumping your gums. That's the easiest way to get a one-way ticket the hell up out of here. What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you think these people been shook as hell?
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. No girl. I mean, it's beyond heartbreaking, right? I remember being those ages, those girls were. I remember my daughters being those ages, right? So for me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. I purposely pushed it away and I moved on. I'm in a really unexpected, beautiful place in my life. So whatever questions remain there, what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need the answer to those things, not me. Well, and I'm so happy to be away from all the muck.
I wonder what your dominant emotion is when you read these news articles.
Just unbelievable sadness. Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to those girls, right? And so for me, it's just sadness for, I left my marriage. I had to leave my marriage. I wanted to leave my marriage. I had to leave I felt I needed to eventually leave the foundation. So it's just sad. And it's kind of like, at least for me, I've been able to move on in life. And I hope there's some justice for those now women, right? We see them standing up in front of microphones in DC. What they went through is just unimaginable.
Now, that's his ex-wife saying this. That's his ex-wife saying, I had to get away from him. That's his ex-wife saying this. So you rats and roaches come around here saying this bullshit. Something is wrong with y'all. Oh, this is gossip. No, you are delusional. Something's wrong with you. Seriously, you need to get checked out. Point blank period. That's why she got away. She got away because of this stuff. She said it. She said, yo, I don't like you hanging around this dude. She got away from the dude because of this. You know what I mean? And so she's saying he got to answer questions. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell y'all what it is, man. She said she dealt with her own type of stuff in her relationship with this cat. And you can only imagine that she did because, the paperwork say that this dude allegedly caught the bug and then tried to sneak antibiotics to her so she wouldn't realize that she may have had it. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you got motherfuckers on here talking about this gossip, and she don't come on an interview and told y'all she left this dude because of stuff like that, man. Y'all, man, like I said before, man, I don't know what else to say to these people, man. Like I said, we got some real live demons running around here, man. These dudes uplift and praise demons, and then they hide behind, man, they're trying to tear down our heroes, man. They trying to tell that nigga, shut your bitch ass up. Y'all niggas ain't nothing but demon worshipers and carriers, bro. You niggas don't do nothing but carry on the demonic energy. And I'll never stand beside niggas like that, ever. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You ain't finna get all these different things, all this different smoke, and ain't no fire. These fools expect there to be smoke all around the place, but ain't no fire. Get the hell out of here, bro. We was born at night, not last night. So again, like I said, y'all, and smash the like button as y'all come on. We should have over 1,000 likes easy in this video. And y'all need to share this video, man. Real talk. They don't want to talk about this type of stuff. You know, bag chasing Republican and all these dudes, they don't like talking about this. Right? They duck and dodge certain topics. Think about this. Anybody y'all see ducking and dodging these topics, bro? And all they want to do is run Diddy down your throat and run goddamn on Jay-Z and all these dudes down your throat. They don't want to talk about this shit. You gotta question them and question their motives. What's your motive? Are you really about victims and trying to really, you understand what I'm saying, get justice for people? Or are you just out here capping and using that shit to get money and build your network? Answer the question. Y'all really gotta start putting these mofos on trial, man. Real talk. Start putting these mofos on trial. They coming with the bullshit, man, and they need to get checked. Right? All of this shit going on, man. Oh, and shout out to Gloria Padilla for subscribing to the podcast show. Yeah, the link to the podcast show is at the top of the chat box. I'm gonna start randomly shouting some of y'all out that subscribe to the podcast show. I just seen her subscribe just now. So that's why I shouted her out. Anybody else I see, I'm gonna shout y'all out. I saw a whole bunch of people the other day. I'm gonna shout a lot of y'all out on the podcast show on here. Just to show the people that, you know, really be supporting what we got going on. But I'm just trying to tell y'all, man, like, it's right here in front of y'all face. It's right here in front of y'all face. Everybody see this shit. Right? But they're free. And I'm gonna talk about that on the podcast show today. That's what I'm gonna talk about. So y'all make sure y'all check out that episode on the podcast show today. I'm gonna talk about how all these dudes and all these people around here, even chicks. I seen a chick that looked like a bald eagle on YouTube, sitting up here tapping for Diddy the whole time. This is after she saw Diddy beat the holy hell out of Kathy. She tapping. Bald eagle on YouTube tapping. See, you're doing Diddy wrong. No. You are an enabler of demonic energy and foolishness. That's what you are. Right? You cannot be afraid to speak out against these type of clowns. Pastor, what's going on? Salute home. You know what it is. So again, and they've been perpetuating this stuff for years. And then think about this. They always move the goalposts. So if somebody sues and they don't go to and they don't call the cops, then they say, oh man, they're suing, man, they don't want money. If they wait to sue, oh man, why did you wait all those years? But then if they sue immediately, they still get demonized. Then they say, well, why didn't you go to the cops? Then you find out that a lot of these people did call the cops. They called the FBI hotline to report this shit. And guess what? They still denying this shit. Oh man, you see, I'm telling you something, man. That shit gotta be fake. That's what they're saying, bro. This shit is crazy to me, man.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free. Plus, get your biggest refund. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. File now.
Try Nature Made Zero Sugar Gummies. The gummies you love, now with zero sugar.
This right here is what the experts call a problem. Today I'm lifting some...
It's crazy to me, man. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. That shit is crazy to me, man. They move the goalposts every time, bro. How many times can you move the goalposts? Right? Hey, Aaron, salute you for subscribing to the podcast show, brother. I appreciate it. So I'm just telling y'all, These are the things that's going on. Point blank, period. And so, you know, Bill Gates' wife, now she coming out speaking about this shit. And remember, she was in it because they said that the files said that the dude caught something from Russian chicks allegedly and tried to slip the wife something so that she wouldn't notice if she got something. That's crazy, bro. Now imagine you his ex-wife and that's how you find out about that. Think about this. And you got more folks coming here talking about, hey man, these are just rumors. Man, shut up, man. If there was just rumors, people wouldn't want it hidden this long. Period. So the person said, don't jump down yourself's throat. I'll do the hell I want to do. I don't stand for no type of evil on this channel, Karen. And if you have a problem with that, if you have a problem with me standing against evil and people who are bearers of evil and want to keep that shit going and make excuses for these lanes, then you can step too. Period. You can step too. There's nobody begging you to be around here. You can step too. I don't want nobody around here that's on that type of time. The hell is wrong with you? Don't you understand the worst things in the world happen to these people? Point blank, period, man. Have you read the files? Have you seen the pictures? Have you seen all these creeps in these pictures that are being exposed? The things that they were doing? All this shit that was in the investigations and the reports that y'all never heard about over the years? The hell is wrong with you people? You go sit in here talking about stuff don't do. No, tell her don't come in here capping for demons. You come in here capping for demons, I'm gonna lullaby you. Point blank, period. Got no time for that. I'm coming here trying to regulate. Nah, we don't do that. Y'all people is scary. You scared to stand on business. Y'all want to keep the nonsense going. We can't even have a good society where you can have your kids grow up and not have to compromise themselves to get in a certain position, bro. Imagine if your daughter got to go compromise herself because some weirdo out here said that's the only way she can get a job. How would you feel? Did you read the reports about what they alleged was going on in those massage therapies? If you didn't read this stuff, you need to shut up. I've read the reports. Some of the most vile, disgusting things you can ever know. And you talking about people that wasn't even of age. And you sitting up here bumping your gums. Know your role and shut your mouth. Period. It's sad when you got women that don't stand up for women. And let me tell you something. I've already told y'all this. I'm not for nobody violating nobody, man or woman. In my opinion, everybody should respect each other. Simple as that. But if you don't stop it, if you don't stand up against it, it's going to keep happening. And then you're going to have a generation of scarred people. Why y'all think so many people going through things right now, like mentally in their life? Because a lot of them have been mentally scarred. They've had things done to them. They've been violated, all these different things. And guess what? They've been afraid to tell people because you got these weirdos running around here calling everybody liars, calling everybody hoes, all this other shit. Like I said before, cut the cap. Playing these games. Y'all niggas better find out. F around and find out. So that's the situation. Right? And I'm just telling y'all what the truth is, man. People scared to come out here and stand on business, man. I can't be around those scary people, man. Real talk. I just can't. I'm allergic to that shit, bro. I'm allergic to that shit, man. I never was a follower in my life. Never was a follower. I've always been a motherfucking leader, man. Excuse my French. That shit got me mad. Shout out to Brother Fishing with the donation, man. Salute, brother. People gotta have some type of soul to be able to stand up against certain things y'all know ain't right. You know it ain't right, but you afraid you just want to go along with the crowd. It's like Kwame Brown says, the go along, get along game. Right? Meanwhile, you got people out here getting victimized, mistreated, all kind of shit, bro. It's sad, man. So, yeah, man, it's just food for thought. Y'all gotta do the dishes on this shit. But salute to everybody that's tapped on in, man. Y'all smash the like button, man. Let you get over 1,000 likes, man. And I'm just being honest with y'all, man. Right? I'm telling y'all what it is, man. Y'all watching this in real life. You see all these people out here defending foolishness. Our mofo got 100-some allegations against them, and everybody's saying, oh, man, they all lying. People delusional as hell out here on cap. Scared, man. Scared to stand on something. Scared to stand on something correct. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. I'm going to tell you something right now. It's funny when you can get bots that'll come in and be funny, and then you get your ducks that'll come in and be funny. But when it's real humans coming in, like real ducks coming in, and they feel a way, you getting cussed out on sight. You come in my house with all of that hair and no filters, you getting cussed out on sight. Because at the end of the day, you can't keep having the same allegations from decades ago and then they come today and you act like it's nothing. That's why I said Lizzo should be smacked. Jay-Z had these same allegations back in the day. Same allegations because he's been fighting a whole case about this boy that claims that's his son allegedly. They've been saying Jay-Z gay for the longest of time, and even more. So all of these things are not that we just heard it, so we just finna hop on the bandwagon because it's Epstein. No, stupidest, extra stupidest. We receiving this because we continue to hear the same information, just like Tyler Perry. How is it that 3 guys that almost got the same 3 descriptions, they all charging you for the same things? And they specifically can talk it out detail for detail on how you approach them. And by the way, you approach all 3 of them in the same way. And they all had 3 different experiences. Didn't check with each other. They just had their own 3 experiences. And yet, you doing the same thing to them, so they didn't figure you out. So this is what I mean by I hate how society will see a duck. But yet people don't want to inform, understand, and be aware that if it walk like a duck, and if it talk like a duck, damn it, it's a duck. That's it. Ain't no, we still thinking what type of quack? How many ducks is it? When was the duck born? How they been quacking? Is they still quack? No, ain't none of that. If it walk like her, talk like her, you know what it is, fam. And that's exactly what's going on with Bill Gates. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. This is getting really and really even by the day because the problem is, like he just said, we got to be the judge. We have to be prosecuted. We have to be the jurors. We. Why? Because they are performing everything on us. We listen to these people music. We buy these people clothes. We support these people. We the ones keep these people in position. If it wasn't let me say something, without us, Bill Gates has no job. Without us, Diddy is not a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. Without us, Jay-Z cannot be a mogul. Without us, Tyler Perry would have never existed. We'd have never known about Medea without us. Why? Because the first play that he put out here, all it took was us to go support him and pay our hard-earned money. So without us, these people are nobodies. And without us, these people will never be held accountable. As always, fam, you know what the level is and what the deal is here. It's only going to come one way and one way only, and that's real. We bringing light to darkness, letting them know that we reading the headlines and we reading in between the lines, because we not having it over here with your boy Dilla T and my fam here at No Filters. As always, fam, I appreciate you and me, you and you and family, all of us together in one way or another, and that's right here. Making sure that you're getting you something to eat, making sure you're getting you something to drink, and make sure you're getting you something to smoke if that's what you do. As always, fam, make sure you never forget, bang! You see the raffles, one man, one woman will win a No Filters hoodie, customized, sponsored by Nene Love Savvy TV, signed by your boy Dilla T, making sure that you understand all No Filters, that you can go to the No Filter store right here on the channel and check out the gear for the babies, for your office, for your room, for your man cave, for your house, for your car. We got it all, family, each and every time. As always, fam, truly appreciate any support that you're coming with in the Cash App, any support that you're coming with in the Super Chat, any support that you're coming with in the stickers. And I truly appreciate you hitting that like button, double tapping that screen, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode, and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Cause you see the title, fam. Hi. You in here with your boy Dilla T and my fam. And this is No Filters. Good night, family. Y'all be safe. It's love. God bless.